Good day, greeting students. I am very happy to meet you all again in grade 12 economics. We are in Indian economic development, chapter number 3, where we are discussing about the economic reforms that were brought in by the new economic policy 1991. It's also called the industrial policy of 1991. So already we have discussed 2 chapters about India's economy during the colonial rule and once we got independence till the first 7-year plans. We have discussed both the situations and we have discussed various sectors, how they were during the colonial rule and how they were during independence and after independence. All these things we have discussed in the earlier sessions. So a quick recall of what we have discussed so far is, first we have spoken about the agriculture sector, talking about agriculture sector. So during the colonial rule, how was agricultural sector? Farmers were suffering. There were systems like zamindari system and even revenue or rent settlement. That is, during the colonial rule, the tillers of the land were not the owners of the land. And the farm la, field la work pandravanga adoda owners ah irukka mudiyala. They had to they had to pay a rent to these zamindars to farm there. அவங்களோட லேண்டா இல்லாம அது இன்னொருத்தங்க கையில இருந்துச்சு. So if I have to grow something in that particular field, I have to pay a rent to this zamindar. This zamindar in turn should pay a revenue or a rent to the colonial government, to the British government. So agriculture sector la da maximum population irundichu. About 75% to 80% of population was in agricultural sector, but still they were striving. They did not have enough produce. They were doing only subsistence farming. avanga family ku thevayanadu mattum dhaan pannangale thavara there was no marketable supplies, there was nothing extra. Okay, the raw materials were sent to British and we had to procure things from foreign. How did agricultural sector turn when it reached its independence and the first 5-year plans? In the first 7-year plans la, first 5-year plan 1950 to 51 to 56 concentrated on the primary sector. So in the first 5-year plan nama frame pannade, nama Indian government frame pannade, it was in focus towards the primary sector, which is the agricultural sector. So they brought in various land reforms. What did they bring in? They brought in various land reforms. Land reforms like what? They brought in land ceiling. The zamindari system should not intrude in way of the farmers. They were not motivated. மறுபடியும் அக்ரிகல்ச்சரில் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறதுக்கோ இல்லை இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கோ அவங்களுக்கு மோட்டிவேஷன் இல்லை. பிகாஸ் வாட் எவர் தே earn they are going to pay it as a rent to someone. So அதை பிரேக் பண்ணுறதுக்காக இந்தியன் கவர்மெண்ட் brought in land reforms, which one of them was land sealing. So இந்த land sealing எதுக்காக வந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா, there were restrictions of how much land a person can own. Okay, there was a restriction on the maximum limit a person can own. So இதனால the aggregation of income would not go to a certain place. ஒரே இடத்துக்கு அந்த income போய் சேராம everybody will give equal opportunity to invest and to earn. Okay, the next thing is subsistence farming was closed and marketable surplus was brought in. So என்ன பண்ணாங்க, they were motivating the Indian agriculturist to farm more, to grow more grains, not only for their family but for the next level also, to sell it for a profit quotient. Okay, ஏன் இதை நம்ம பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா, we were dependent on food on other countries. One of the important goals of all the 5-year plans was being self-reliant. நம்ம country நம்ம செல்ஃப்-டிபெண்ட்டாக இருக்கணும். மற்ற விஷயங்கள் ஃபுட்டுக்காகவோ இல்லை மணிக்காகவோ இன்னொரு கண்ட்ரியை டிபெண்ட் பண்ணக்கூடாதுங்கிறது தான் செல்ஃப் ரிலையன்ஸ். ஸோ what happened here was they told them, they motivated the farmers to farm extra. So government adukana facilities panni kodutanga, they made something extra. So we stopped the import of food. US la irundhu nama pannittu irundha large food imports stop panni nammaloda country la irundhe nama kondu varadhukka self sufficient ah irukka nama kattukittom. Okay, then came green revolution. Those are HYV seeds. Green revolution, HYV seeds. Those mean high yielding variety seeds. enna adoda artham, high yielding variety seeds. These seeds needs a lot of care. adukana pesticides, adukana water facilities should be proper. Okay, the government motivated all the farmers to take up HYV seeds. That's how green revolution was possible, and agricultural sector was saved from a great depression. And thirupi namlala we could become self reliant in the agricultural field. All right children, so moving on from agricultural sector, let's discuss about the industrial sector. So industrial sector la irundha changes during colonial rule and during 1950 to 1990. இது எதுக்காக நம்ம பார்க்குறோம்? Why are we dealing with this? Because we should know what led towards these economic reforms. எதுக்காக இந்த economic reforms கொண்டு வர வேண்டிய தேவை இருந்துச்சுன்னு பார்க்கறதுக்காக தான் we are just going through whatever we have discussed already. Alright children, so industrial sector during colonial rule, there was no industries actually working. So handicrafts industries fell. There was no other industry to replace it. We were only supplying raw materials. நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம்? We are only supplying raw materials, that too predominantly to British. அவங்களுக்கு தான் நம்ம மேக்ஸிமம் ரா மெட்டீரியல்ஸை எக்ஸ்போர்ட் பண்ணோம். That is why they introduced railways. They built shipyards. எதுக்காக? They laid roads. எதுக்காக அப்படின்னா even from the rural place, even from villages, they brought the raw materials and shipped it or transported it to their country. எதுக்காக? To create opportunities, to create employment opportunities in their country. And for what else? They wanted India to be dependent on them in everything. எல்லா விஷயத்துக்கும் நம்ம பிரிட்டிஷ் கவர்மெண்ட்டை டிபெண்ட் பண்ணி இருக்கிற மாதிரியான ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன்லேயே நம்ம இருந்தோம். All right children, and who buys those products? When it comes to trade, talking about industry, it also adds trade in it. So எப்படி இருந்துச்சு trade? எப்படி இருந்துச்சு? We have given raw materials to other countries. We don't have industries to make them. Where will we go for the final products? We had to be the consumer of foreign goods. What we were doing? We were just becoming the consumer of foreign goods. நம்ம என்னவா ஆயிட்டோம்? We became the supplier of raw materials and simply the consumer of foreign goods. Clear children? These were the only things that we were doing, nothing else. And how did we become during 1950 to 1990? That is after the independence. The first 7-year plans, first 5-7-year plans la second 5th-year plan, second 5-year plan, that is 1956 to 61 was meant for the improvement of industrial sector. Industries ayum self reliant ஆக்கணும். We should start up industries அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு விஷயத்தை கொண்டு வந்தாங்க. There were many reforms, many important things the Indian government introduced. அதில் என்ன கொண்டு வந்தாங்க அப்படின்னா public sector will play the main role. All the important industries were with public sector. எல்லா முக்கியமான departmental undertakings, development things, infrastructure, all these were in hands of public sector. இதை ஃபாலோ பண்ணுறதுக்கு ஒரே ஆள் யார்? Public sector. The private sector had the role of just a supporter. They were just playing this supporter's role. They were not playing this main role. Instead, they were playing only the supporting role. So, public sector பண்ற விஷயங்களை private sector அவங்க அந்த rules and regulations follow பண்ணிட்டு they have to follow. Okay? Then there was this license Raj system. நிறைய rules and regulations இருந்தது. Indian government கொடுத்த rules and regulations. ஸோ இப்போ நீங்கள் ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னாலும் there were lots of rules and regulations. சரி, ஓகே, நான் பிஸ்னஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன். I'm going to expand my business. என்னோட பிஸ்னஸை நான் இன்னும் எக்ஸ்பேண்ட் பண்ண போகிறேன் அப்படின்னாலும் what do I want? I want to wait for a long time for getting my license. ஸோ நிறையா ரூல்ஸ் அண்ட் ரெகுலேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கிறப்போ people were not interested to get into this situation. அவங்க இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணணும், இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணணுங்கிற மாதிரியான எந்த எண்ணமும் உங்களுக்கு இல்லை. பிகாஸ் இட் வாஸ் டஃப், இட் வாஸ் அ க்ளோஸ் கால். ரொம்ப டஃப்பாக இருக்கிறப்போ அவங்களால அந்த சிச்சுவேஷனை ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுறதுக்கு முடியல. ஓகே, and one more thing was import substitution. there were lots and lots of rules and regulations about imports. So import substitution அப்படின்னா என்ன அப்படின்னா import பண்ணனும்னா there were lots of rules and regulations. India wanted to curb that interest of importing. அவங்களுக்கு அதிகமாக import பண்ணக்கூடாது, we have to be self reliantங்கிற தாட்னால இம்போர்ட்ஸை ரொம்ப கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணி வச்சுருந்தாங்க. How did they control? Using two techniques. One was tariff, another one was quotas. Tariffs are heavy taxes that were imposed on imports. Import பண்ணனும்னா அவ்வளோ டாக்ஸ் நம்ம பே பண்ணணும். கோட்டா அப்படின்னா என்னென்னா they have to have a limit. இவ்வளோக்கு மேலே உங்களால் இம்போர்ட் பண்ண முடியாதுங்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு லிமிட் இருந்துச்சு, அதுதான் கோட்டா. Okay, so what did we have? We had tariffs as well as quotas. What happened because of this? Imports அவங்க prompt பண்ணவே முடியலை. Okay, imports என்ன பண்ண முடியல, prompt பண்ண முடியல. இதனால என்னாச்சு, lots and lots of rules and regulations இருக்கு. The next thing is that so the plan was to control imports as well as to make or give a space for the domestic producers to better themselves. So domestic producers ku foreign competition irukku appadina they will be demotivated, they may not perform so well. So enna pannanga, they had that space. இப்போ வந்து உங்களுக்கு foreign competition இல்லைங்கிறப்போ they can betterment themselves அப்படிங்கிறது தான் கான்செப்ட். பட் how did they use it? They used it in a negative way. நமக்கு தான் competition இல்லையே, so however we produce it's going to be the same is what was their concept. What happened because of this? We faced lots of things. By mid 1980s we had to face a huge financial crisis. We have discussed in the previous session nammaloda GDP growth rate ellame romba koranjiduchu. We had to face a twin deficit, a fiscal deficit and a balance of trade deficit, which was really hectic. We had to airlift some 67 tons of gold to pledge it with IMF to get about $7 billion, okay, for managing the situation. The import bills were huge. Nama petroleum import பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். The bills were huge, but there were no exports. ஏன் export இல்லை? Import substitution தானே இருக்கு. Why not exports? ஏன் அப்படின்னா we were concentrating on producing for our country. We don't have an option of choosing from other countries. வேறு கண்ட்ரிலேருந்து எதையும் நம்மளால் வாங்க முடியாது. So what we have to do? We have to manage with whatever we produce. அப்படிங்கிறப்போ நம்ம கண்ட்ரிக்கு உண்டான அளவு தான் இருந்துச்சே தவிர we did not have that surplus. Surplus இருந்தால் தான் நம்ம எக்ஸ்போர்ட் பண்ண முடியும். We did not have that surplus to export. So that really was a difficult situation for us. And what happened? IMF lent us money with conditions to open up Indian market for other countries also. So enna pannanga, they had terms and conditions that you have to liberalize a few rules and regulations, you have to open the market for foreign investors also, you should allow imports and exports. All these points were discussed and this led towards the introduction of new economic policy 1991 or the industrial policy 1991. ஒரு பெரிய எக்கனாமிக் crisis 1985 start பண்ணி 1990 it became very very big, so we couldn't manage after that. So by 1991 we had no other option but to change our methods. That's when we came in for liberalization privatization and globalization. Liberal. What is the meaning of the word liberal? What is the meaning of the word liberal? Can be to loosen up, to not be strict. Stricta illama konjam thalarvugal. In Tamil the exact word is thalarvugal. That's called liberalization. So the rules and regulations had to be made simple. அப்படினா தான் அவங்களால என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? They can go to the next step. So what we had to do? We had to go for liberalization. Why liberalization? Because the rules and regulations of our government was very tough. ரொம்ப டஃப்பாக இருந்ததுனால இன்வெஸ்டர்ஸ் வேர் நாட் மோட்டிவேட்டட் டு இன்வெஸ்ட். இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ்குள்ளே வர்றதுக்கோ இல்லை இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கோ அவங்க தயாராகவே இல்லை. Alright, they were not ready for it. So we had no other options but to go for liberalization. Who introduced this economic liberalization? This economic liberalization was introduced by then finance minister. That time who was the finance minister? Dr. Manmohan Singh. He was a person who introduced economic liberalization. Who introduced, children? Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was then finance minister. At that time he was the finance minister of our country. And அவர் என்ன system கொண்டு வந்தாரு? Economic liberalization. Why do we need this economic liberalization? Because it is going to remove unwanted, it's actually a relaxation. Relax or remove tough or unwanted restrictions. What was this liberalization about? It was about removing or relaxing the unwanted or tough restrictions that were there. Okay, so it had several objectives. We'll be discussing one by one. We'll be discussing the features also. I want you to take points of these because I have some references, so kindly take up this. So we had to go in for liberalization to avoid bankruptcy. And who introduced it? Dr. Manmohan Singh. That was the backup of it. அதுக்காக தான் இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணாங்க. எதுக்காக? டு அவாய்ட் பேங்க்ரப்சி. ஏன்னா நம்ம எவ்வளோ லோன் வாங்கினாலும் அதை ரீபே பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்கணும் நம்ம. Isn't it? We need to pay the interest, we need to pay the principal amount. We cannot be debtors forever and ever. So to avoid that situation, we came in with the idea of economic liberalization. And what were the features of this particular liberalization, economic liberalization, that were introduced in 1991? When was it introduced? To be exact, July 1991. Okay, first thing is abolition of the previously existing license Raj. What was the first thing? abolition of license raj system. There was a system, no, industry start pannalum, expand pannalum, edu pannalum you need to go for a licensing system. There were so many rules and regulations, so many formats to be followed. All this was abolished first. Ena ivlo nera wait panni yaru panna matanga. This would demotivate them to get back. So that's why this license raj or permit raj was abolished. There was no need of waiting for long time and getting this license or permission to start up or to expand your business. So first feature ennathukkaga idu pannanga, adoda first work enava irunduchu, to abolish license raj system. Second thing, reduction of interest rates and tariffs. What did we do next? Reduction of interest rates and tariffs. So interest rates nariya irukkrappo you would not be applying for a bank loan or any other financial support. Without financial support it's difficult to proceed, isn't it? That is why interest rates were deducted. Tax impose பண்ணிருந்தோம் இல்லையா, ஒவ்வொரு பர்ச்சேஸ் மேலேயும் நமக்கு டேக்ஸ் இருந்துச்சு, இம்போர்ட் மேலே டேக்ஸ் இருந்துச்சு, அது எல்லாத்தையுமே ரெடியூஸ் பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ தட் இம்போர்ட்ஸ் ஆல்சோ வில் come back to their normal position, isn't it? Then curbing monopoly of the public sector. That was privatization actually. Curbing monopoly. Monopoly means what? Only one person playing that entire sector. Sole proprietor is different from monopoly ma. Sole proprietor அப்படின்னா in that sector one organization is owned by one person. நிறைய ஸ்டேஷ்னரி ஷாப்ஸ் இருக்குது, அந்த ஒரு ஸ்டேஷ்னரி ஷாப்பை ஒருத்தர் மட்டும்தான் மெயின்டைன் பண்ணுறாருன்னா இஸ் அ சோல் ப்ரொப்ரைட்டர். அதுவே ஒரு செக்டாரில் ஒரே ஒருத்தர் தான் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறாங்க, ஒரே ஒரு ஆர்கனைசேஷன் தான் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா அது மோனோபோலி. ரயில்வேஸ் இஸ் அ செக்டார் and who is a monopoly there? Central Railways is a monopoly there. Okay, so you will play a game. There is a board game which was earlier called business, now it's called monopoly. And the game eppadi irukum appadina 2 or 4 or 6 members can play it. There will be different places, aircraft, everything will be there. Bank will be running there, all this will be there. I don't know if you have seen it, but it's a wonderful game to play as business study students. So adha enna pannum appadina, the winner will be decided by the person who owns many places. Nariya place yaar vechirukanga, nariya amount yaar vechirukanga at the end of the game. So that decides the winner of the game. Either one person get bankrupts, அவங்க கிட்ட எதுவுமே இல்லாமல் போகிறதுக்கான சான்சஸ் இருக்குது. இட் இஸ் ஆல் அபவுட் பையிங், செல்லிங், ட்ரேட், ரெண்ட், டேக்ஸ் எல்லாமே இருக்கும் அந்த கேமில். What we were doing in the government is introduced in that particular game. So monopolyங்கிறது இங்கே யார்? One person ruling the entire sector. It's not about one organization children, one sector. So public sector was becoming a monopoly. They were not allowing anybody else inside a sector. நிறைய செக்டார்ஸில் பப்ளிக் செக்டார் மட்டும்தான் இருந்துச்சு. ப்ரைவேட் செக்டார்ஸ்க்கு they did not give opportunity at all earlier. Now that was changed, and what brought in? Disinvestment was brought in, where private sectors also were given opportunities to take part in the trade. Okay, what was next? Approval of FDI. it's actually a part of globalization also. The globalization kulle varum. Foreign direct investments were approved. Do you remember, children? In open market economy, we saw this in capital account, that foreign direct investments or capital receipts nama paathom illaya. So this is a part of globalization. Adavadhu matta countries namakku invest panna vekkiradhu foreign direct investment. So what were the main features of liberalization, economic liberalization? Is that first thing, the license Raj or permit Raj system was cancelled. Second thing, the interest rates and tariffs were reduced to a great extent. Then monopoly was curbed. Public sector alone was playing this role. No, that was changed. Public sector mattu illama private sector also was given some place there in every sector. Then foreign direct investments were approved by the Indian government. So imports and exports, marubadiyu foreign trade, foreign trade irundada we'll have foreign exchange, isn't it? So that was what was very, very important. These are the 4 important features that was introduced by economic liberalization. Okay, so shall we discuss the objectives of liberalization? So far we have discussed its features. Now let us discuss the objectives of liberalization. What was aimed at? Liberalization introduced pandrona, what were the expectations out of it? That was what we are going to discuss now. Okay, we are going to talk about objectives. The objectives of liberalization, as we have discussed, are very, very important. What was aimed at? எதுக்காக இந்த liberalization கொண்டு வந்தாங்க? இந்த liberalizationல இருந்து நம்ம கிடைக்கணும்னு நம்ம நினைச்ச விஷயங்கள் என்ன? What were the planned thing? Was first thing to talk or to adjust, okay, to solve the balance problem of payment, balance payment crisis irukku illaya. First thing, to solve the we saw, no, there was a twin deficit, adula balance of payment deficit irunduchu. So adha nama sort out panna, fiscal deficit irunduchu. So adha nama sort out pandradha first thing. Ida manage pananum. We have to go for a balanced budget. Getting a surplus budget is great, but first thing, from deficit we should come out. Deficit la irundhu modala nama meendu vandada next we can balance it, we can adjust it, isn't it? Second thing, to boost private sector's participation. To boost private sector's participation. So public sector la irundha அதை change பண்ணி private sector motivate பண்றதுக்காக this economic liberalization was brought. ஏனா அப்போதான் rules and regulations குறைச்சு அவங்களையும் இதில் participate பண்ண வைக்க முடியும். So that it gets more of national income, நிறைய பேருக்கு employment opportunities கிடைக்கும். The market will become large enough. Okay, next thing, to increase FDI, the foreign direct investment, because it will help us to increase foreign direct investments. Okay, next, to introduce competition between India's domestic manufacturers. Anga foreign competition illama how they were behaving? Very nice. that they did not have any concern about the consumer product. அவங்களுக்கு குவாலிட்டியாக இருக்கா, ப்ராடக்ட் நல்லா இருக்கா, இது எதுவுமே அவங்க வரி பண்ணல. So now when there is a foreign direct investment and private sectors are coming inside, so there will be a healthy competition. When there is a competition, obviously what will happen? The quality of the products will be improved. The consumers will be benefited out of it. Isn't it? நமக்கு ஒரு choice இருக்கு. We have a choice and we become the choosers. It's not whatever you give I take. I have the power to choose and decide your business. எனக்கு வேணுங்கிற மாதிரி நீங்கள் ப்ராடக்ட்டை க்ரியேட் பண்ணணுங்கிற அந்த power comes back to the consumers. Alright? The next thing is to maximize India's economic potential by encouraging multinational and private companies to expand business. To maximize, to increase the potential of us. நம்மளால பண்ண முடிஞ்சதை increase பண்ணுறது தான் நம்மளோட potential நம்ம சொல்கிறோம் இல்லையா. To maximize India's economic potential, how far we can support India's economy. All these are there. To usher in globalization for the Indian economy. To usher globalization. To promote imports and exports. To improve, to promote imports and exports. Alright children, what were the objectives of economic liberalization? First thing, and the balance of payment or on the crisis, on the financial crisis handle பண்ணனும், the sort out பண்ணனும். To motivate private sectors to enter the field, to give products, to produce, to invest, to increase foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment increase பண்ணறப்பவே we obviously create a competition among the domestic companies to maximize the economic potential of our country, to usher, that is to urge it, to bring in globalization, to promote imports and exports. Clear children? These are the various things or various objectives of liberalization. All these points I want you to take notes in your notebook and keep it safe. In the next session we will be discussing about the impact of this economic policy, economic reform on industrial sector, financial sector, how it changed the tax reforms and foreign exchange reforms, trade and investment policy reforms. We will be discussing all these things in the next session, more about liberalization coming in. So I want you to keep yourself up to date. If at all you have any doubts, please feel free to reach me out and get your doubts clarified. Thank you and may you all have a wonderful day today.